Good morning, my name is Alena, and today I will be making a skirt in one day. That's not happening. Hey, I'm breaking the fifth wall to tell you that, that's water with blue food coloring, Mom, and this is a real sewing video. Just wait and see. The best way to start really any craft project is to draw it out. Even if you're using a pattern, it's good to make a sketch so then you have all your brain cells on one wavelength. Today's project is a black A-line skirt. The idea is that it'll zip up the back and have a button. And I wanted to put pockets on it with a small embroidered detail. After a few different initial ideas, I decided to do a simple fern. When I'm not planning on using a pattern, the next step is to draw out what the pattern pieces would look like before you even start cutting. On these sketches, I like to put how many of each piece I will need and what other findings I'll need, such as zippers and buttons. Here I'm starting to add in some measurements. I find it helpful to think about the measurements and the shape of the pieces as many times as I can before I have to actually cut. Remembering that you can measure as many times as you want, but you can only cut once. Okay, so it's about 1. I have all the pieces cut out, and I have the skirt lining pinned together, and I have the skirt facing pinned together. That's the opening in the back, and then this is the front. And I have the waistband and the pockets. And the plan for the outer part of the pocket is to push the outer part to the inner facing and then do the embroidery pattern and then sew backing on, so that then you shouldn't see any of the embroidery. You shouldn't see the back of the embroidery, which is always a positive. Here I am stitching up the side and back seams of the skirt and the lining and then ironing everything. That looks like a lovely iron. Lovely. Do you know what kind of interfacing that is? You're about to find out. I quickly found out that the interfacing was fusible and was more like a sticky substance than I had originally expected it to be. So I had to clean the iron. I found a way to make the fusible interfacing work, even though I had not intended to use fusible interfacing, and then had to recut out that one that I totally mangled by burning it. At this point, I had just gotten done with lunch and was preparing to sew in the zipper. If you're looking for any kind of zipper tutorial, there are gazillions on YouTube, so I'm not going to go in depth on how I did this. With the zipper done, I now pinned the waistband on and trimmed the seam so it could easily be folded over. Then folded it all over, and then realized that the green zipper was not going to work how I wanted it to. News alert! You're never going to find the right zipper. It's just the truth. It's not going to be there. You're never going to find it. Because you're not finishing the skirt in one day. I found a zipper that is harvestable in this skirt. Has this black zipper here. And I never liked how I put in this zipper in this skirt. I think it looks wonky because there's that weird hole here. And this awkwardly folds over and should be straight. So it gives me a reason to undo this zipper and put it in here. And then I can put either the white zipper in here or the grayish zipper from here, because this is terrible. And also, I just finished dinner and it's about 8. So we got a little bit of time. Let's hope we get it done. It's not happening. No one finishes the sewing project in a day on my watch. Okay, buttonholes. Some people love them, some people hate them. My sewing machine sews them pretty nicely. I don't have to actually do much, so that's good. Sticking a pin in the middle of your buttonhole helps so then you do not seam rip more than the buttonhole, because otherwise you'll end up with a large hole, and that's no fun. That buttonhole actually worked quite well. Time to bring in the big guns. You made a bad measurement at the beginning. Sorry, pause. Yeah, I tried it on that night and the waistband was non-negotiably terrible. I have not picked this up for the last 2 weeks because after it did not get done in a day, I did not feel like working on it. It had a lot of problems. She got it done in less than a month. She should be grateful. It's not like anyone's in a global pandemic. First, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cleaning. Things have gotten a little crazy in the last 2 weeks in here. Just sort of been piling things places and haven't really been dealing with things, and it's getting bad. Little did you know, but off camera, she said that she was gonna clean the sewing room in a day. It took about a week. I made this little time-lapse video of cleaning the sewing room, but it took a lot longer than this, and this is really only the bookshelf. And there were about 12 spiders. Okay, so it's been a few days. It's pretty clean. It's, the sewing room is cleaner than it ever has been. I thought it'd be good if I kind of made a list of what needs to happen on this skirt. And this is like a terrible angle. Okay, here we are. At one point it was a finished skirt, except for not having a hem. Told you about the zipper, took it out again. I have already put this zipper in 3 or 4 times. I'm not sure, don't really want to count. The waistband just has to come out. That's going to be the first thing. Have to completely take that out, redo that, because I did not like the cut of it. And hemming this, then putting in the pockets, and hopefully I will still have patience for the pockets, because I think that's the only part that I'm really looking forward to by the time I get around to it. So let's get sewing. I've said that like 5 times now. I wonder when I'll actually start. And I started sewing back on that waistband. And I skipped over the button and the zipper because you already saw that. But now, it's a skirt and it fits me. Ta-da! Pockets. Finally the pockets. What I'd been waiting for. Oh, they're gonna be so cute. So I found some green embroidery thread and was ready to get stitching. So I decided this would be 3 embroidery threads thick, and I did chain stitching the whole way to give it a little bit more texture. I didn't worry about too much how the back looked since it was going to be sandwiched in between the 2 pieces of black fabric, and didn't worry too much about knots because the fusible interfacing was going to work like glue and glue everything to the inside anyway. The first one took about 18 minutes on camera and the second one took 10 minutes. So I was pretty happy with the amount of time these took to accomplish, especially compared with the rest of the skirt. Okay, the more tedious part of clipping the corners and turning them inside out. I use my scissors as a corner turner. I'm not sure if I recommend that. Just make sure you keep them together, otherwise you'll snip the thing and bad things will happen then. So that spray bottle is kind of like a temperature protector and hairspray, but for fabric. I was determined to put the pockets in the correct location the first time, so I did not have to sew them on again. We'll see how that works out. But I took so many measurements and thought I was doing it so correctly. I'm not necessarily sure if I had to iron the skirt again, but I like using that spray stuff. It's kind of fun. At this point, it was a finished skirt. Except this. Not the white dot, that's a feather, but you see how it kind of has a peak there? Okay, I'm going to try to explain why the peak thing is happening on the skirt and how to make sure that it doesn't happen to your A-line skirt or circle skirt, half circle skirt, quarter circle skirt, any skirt that is not a rectangle with pleats or gathers. So this is the pattern of a typical A-line skirt. Okay, it's not the best, but you get it. It is very similar to a trapezoid. The difference between the trapezoid and the A-line skirt pattern is that the A-line skirt has a rounded top and a rounded bottom, so that the distance between here and the distance between here will be the same, equal. And what I did, and how I got that peak problem, is because when I was trying to fit the top of the skirt to the waistband, and it didn't fit correctly because the waistband was totally jacked. Ugh, it was terrible. Anyway, I cut off this part and this part, so the corners, to get 2 to 3 more inches on either side. So now it looked like this. The problem with this is that the bottom is still rounded. So the distance between here and here will no longer be the same, unlike the one on the rounded A-line skirt pattern. If you need to make your A-line skirt pattern bigger at the waist to match your waistband, what you need to do is cut off an even amount around the top of the skirt. An even amount around the top of the skirt, so then the spacing will be spread out throughout the skirt instead of just on the sides, so that then the distance between here and here will remain the same whole way around the skirt instead of just on the front, which is what happens when you cut off the corners, as I did, and ended up with the peak. So please don't do that. The last thing I fixed about this skirt was the fact that the pockets were not even. So I just brought one down just a little bit to match the other. I'm sorry, but did you think you could sew those pockets on correctly the first time? So I sewed it back on, and with those evened out, it's time for the fun part. Wait. I was unaware that you climbed trees. Oh yeah. You don't. Thank you oh so much for watching. All likes, comments, and subscribers are greatly appreciated. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!